Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols. So the past 2 weeks have been really incredibly edifying. I have learned a lot about these skills and these abilities that we all have access to, and I have proven time and time again in different conditions that these abilities are very real and very reproducible and consistent. And I've been able to prove them in laboratory conditions, in real world conditions. I had an incredible time with Dr. Gallenberger and the previous few days with the research group in Reno, and was able to work with mechanical random number devices and consistently every single run, without exception, show anomalies. So I think it's pretty obvious that consciousness affects reality and that all the things we've been talking about are real. As fanciful as it may have sounded to a previous generation, Galileo spoke about certain things that kind of made reality very different for the average person if they really thought about it. And Galileo was right. And the people and the greats and the masters from history who have been trying to tell us about the power of consciousness and the importance of consciousness have been all right. And so it's not about us or me or even our specific method, which is just a recreation of the classic Yoga Sutra methods of virtuous work and meditation and letting the universe come to you by a virtuous inward path. And there's a lot of different ways and tricks and things to utilize. And today, I'm going to share some of these secrets and things that I have learned that have been very impactful and helpful for me. And first, in this video today, it's going to be just some remote viewing tips and information and stuff that I found incredibly valuable and have already produced incredible results. If you saw the tweets, the amazing hits I had during the class by utilizing this method and just trusting in it. That's the thing about remote viewing and trying CRV especially, is trusting in the method. Of course, you have to always trust in your gestalt, but when you combine it with the method, you really get some ability to harness more data than you could if the signal is weak. So even if you have a weak signal, this is an ability to really mine that signal for more data, more accurate data. And in fact, what was really wonderful to discover from Dr. Simeon was that this is all Ingo Swann stuff. This is directly Ingo Swann stuff, and especially the stuff that I latched onto that I found very beneficial. I had learned a previous CRV version from Prudence Calabrese and online and through basically self-education. And my friend Super Sleuth really kind of turned me on to remote viewing in this style in the first place. And so it's been a marvelous exploration and has allowed me to kind of do different things and different types of methods of not just remote viewing, other methods in general allow you to get different types of information more and more accurately. And then that's part of making the connection. And then once you make that connection, you can do the psychokinesis stuff that people like Dr. Gallenberger and Dr. Browdy and many other great scientists that have written books about this subject have talked about. And it is this integration of consciousness with matter. And there are extraordinary individuals, but I'm firmly of the belief that that extraordinary is just what I would call a normal understanding of what really is around us. And that everyone else, we've all been acting kind of subnormal. And there's a new normal approaching. And the advanced civilizations understand this, and that's why ATIP, the big advanced aerospace threat identification program that the Department of Defense ran for over 10 years, concluded that these effects were very real. So we know this structure exists. We know why it's accurate now, and we know why advanced civilizations utilize it. We know why remote viewers connect to them. It's a real structure. This is why aerospace companies have been harassing psychics, at least the good ones, for quite a long time. And we delight in working with them to further the research and move the yardstick forward for all of humanity. So anyway, I'm going to dive into something I learned from Dr. Swann-Hein, and I have to say I've seen a lot of different techniques and a lot of different types of classes, and Dr. Simeon's method is the absolute best, hand down. It's the absolute best. It's the most thorough. It addresses a lot of the problems with traditional CRV, and I'm just going to dive into the aspects that I found most helpful, and to give you guys an immediate tool to dive into your remote viewing and improving it immediately. So let me share screen with you here if I can. Share screen. Okay, share screen. All right. Oh, awesome. I was able to bring up the page. This is beautiful. Hopefully this is actually working. So this is what I call the Swann-Hein CRV method. Instead of splitting this up on the left page and right page, everything gets justified to the right. And you put your name at the top or your code name. I prefer putting code names just so when this is, you know, looked at later, that it doesn't necessarily pin down a specific viewer. So I have a specific code name that I like a lot, but I also have a couple others, but one that I use a lot. So you put your code name, the date, time next to each other, who the monitor is, the session type, and then PEDs. These are the physical distractions and emotional distractions that you come to the table with for your session. And this is very important. This is something that's in all the different methods, CRV methods that I'm aware of. But then here's the two things that really make this method great, in my opinion, and really made it special for me and solved two big problems that I've had, is AP's advanced perceptions. Sometimes when you do the ideogram, you get a perception right off the bat. This is a mountain range, and I'm getting an ocean on the right-hand side and a boat. And you get that right off the bat. You can put that down at AP, advanced perceptions, or you could get a perception before the whole session that, oh, this is going to be a, you know, race car scene, and it can be stuck in your head. And you can put that there under advanced perceptions. And it gives you a place, because the left brain and also the right brain is sneaky, and information will either come in or be forced in against your will. And you want a kind of a place to set it aside and a shelf to put it on to allow the egress of other information to flow. And you still have it there. It's on the shelf. It's contained. It doesn't serve as a distraction anymore. You know it's there and can be, you know, a reference point for you. And that's also really important with the next one, which is set-asides. These are distractions and analytical overlay. Today, I was tested by a scientist friend, and I could send you the images or whatever, but basically, just before the person asked me to do a viewing of what that person was looking at, I had sent a picture of an owl. And when then the person right after that said, I want you to see something that I'm seeing right now. And I instantly got brown, and I got movement, and I got this kind of mechanical leg, arm thing, you know, like this, that moves. And I got the darker brown on the top and a little bit of lighter brown on the bottom. And I got a fuzziness, and I got all these kind of mechanical, half animal, half mechanical-ish kind of thing. And ended up being a brown spider. It ended up being a wonderful description of a brown spider, and its movement and everything. That was really neat. And I've been able to use now these advanced perceptions and set-asides. I was able to put the brown owl that I had put previously aside, and the owl had two tones. I was able to put it on a shelf and then realized the brown I was getting was also real from the target. And although it wasn't as starkly different two-toned as the owl, it was similar. There was a slightly lighter tone to the bottom than the top of it. There's a patch that's just a little lighter on the bottom of the brown spider, jumping brown spider. That was really interesting. So I've done a bunch of viewings since I've learned this, and all the ones I did in the class were really accurate. I was really kind of surprised. I tweeted several of them out. Every single one was really at least in the 80% accurate in terms of the descriptions. There were descriptions, and the drawings were of the right shape. And if I had more time, you know, if we did each session longer. This is just page one. And if you're learning this much just from page one, you can imagine how much you're learning from the rest of this Swann-Hein CRV method. It's really great. It's the best CRV method. It's the best remote viewing method, period, I believe. So of course, just to finish this first page for you guys, you have your traditional target ideogram series. You know, you describe, you do your target number before all this stuff. You know, on the left-hand side, you do your target over here, you put your target number. So your target number over here on the left-hand side where the cursor is would be, you know, however many digits, generally 8, 4, and 4. And then you do your ideogram right afterwards, or a series of ideograms, your ideogram system. And then you just describe it in line 1. Line 2 is when you feel it. You feel the ideogram, and like, well, it's harder here at the beginning. It's softer. It's more like clay. It turns to stone here. It's water over here. So you write that under number 2 down here on the page. And then 3, if you're feeling already, what kind of ideogram is it? Is this a biological? Is this an energy? Is this mostly water? Is this blank? Is this 2 of them? And you can put them both there. So that's your page 1. You can also do other things here, but I will let Dr. Simeon explain that to you in his system here. And I learned so much, and you know, with his class, was really able to go through just amazing sessions, phases, all the way to phase 5. I had that amazing series of ones, like the fish description, which was incredible. It was 100% accurate of that page there with the fish, where I said, blue, lots of blue, energy, water, lots of blue-green, lots of blue, natural, something white moving in something natural. And that was all the white school of white fish. Aquatic clicking, salty, kelp, fishy, feels like underwater, coral reef sounds, underwater energy, movement. So basically I had described moving as a system. So I had definitely the school of fish there. This is the drawing. And this page, I was just supposed to be doing the phase 1. I was not supposed to be drawing the target. I think I described that pretty darn well, don't you guys? And many more from the session. So if you want to learn this method, contact Dr. Swann-Hein. It really is worth the investigation. He gives away a lot of information for free. That's where I first found out about him. Our friendship grew from there. I found out about him through my friend and the best creative director I know, Artsy Dude, who helped this channel be what it is. Artsy Dude is who introduced me to Dr. Swann-Hein and made this weekend possible as well. So a combination of him and Super Sleuth taught me so much about RV, and we all learned so much together. So thank you guys so much for participating and watching this channel, and we will continue to try and you know, share things that help us all learn. So if you have any ideas or techniques to make remote viewing better, we'd love to share them. And my next video is going to be PK tips. Some things I've learned, some things I've always known, and it's time to share them with you guys and hear back from you guys the successes from these techniques. Much love, guys. Next is a little series of PK tips. Much love.